Hi, and welcome back to our series of lessons from lockdown. Evelyn, it's really good to be chatting to you this week. How are you?
I'm fine, yeah, I'm doing okay, thanks. Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, all grand here, no problem.
Okay.
I'll just start and I'll ask you the first of our two questions. And the first one is, how have you been finding lockdown?
It has been very strange. Uh, Initially, I thought starting off I would have no problem with it because with living on my own, I thought it would be no problem. But as the weeks went on, um, and the fact that you weren't allowed to go places, you weren't allowed out. Sometimes I was nearly afraid to go out in case I was going too far in the car and I was stopped at the police. But anyway, uh, through lockdown, I experienced, I suppose, a range of emotions. There were times when I sort of was down in the dumps, and then the next day you would get up and you're in great form, you know. And then other times, I had loads and loads of pity parties, so I put on about 2 stone for all the eating that I've done. And I think most of all in it all, at times I was very lonely. I was very lonely with, I suppose, with Lynn and Simon down in Belfast and Lisburn, and them not being able to come anyway until recently. Yeah, I found it very, very long and lonely at times.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of people are going to be in the same boat, to a whole range of emotions, as you say. Some days excellent, some days completely the opposite. So yeah. What then do you feel that God has been teaching you, or what do you believe He's been saying to you throughout that time?
Um, I think he reminded me about of Philippians 4 and verse 11, and it says, "Not that I'm speaking in being of need, for I have learned to be in whatever situation I am to be content." And I think that's what God was, pointing out to me, that it doesn't matter. Everybody's in the same boat. You're no different than anybody else, and just to be content. Be content that He's there, that you have a roof over your head, that you have food, and just be content. It's not going to change, and yeah. So it taught me that, I think, initially, and then another thing that I got just recently really was, he reminded me to spend time just soaking in His presence. And sometimes I don't know how anybody else found it, but there was times I just didn't want to do my quiet time. Times I couldn't be bothered. And other times I maybe would have listened on a Sunday morning, had different podcasts on, listening to services. I remember one Sunday, it was between 9 and 3, I think I finished listening to all these services, and I thought, right, okay. But what I did find through it all was that the fact that the app that I had on my phone was an audio app, which meant even though I couldn't be bothered reading the thing, I could listen to it.
Yeah.
And that way God's words, He was speaking into my soul, and also find a great strength and in praise music. I just soaked it up, So yeah, but I have to say that throughout it all, that just spending time in God's presence, I was just reminded that you were able to hand over your problems, your feelings, and how you were. And as my mummy used to say, you have big broad shoulders, but God had big broad shoulders to carry my burdens. You know what I mean? and he would have carried them on his shoulders. And you know, it's great just to be reminded of these things, for sometimes I think we lost touch of how close God is with us.
Yeah.
But a thing that I found also was fellowship, the importance of fellowship, in that, whether it's physical or whether it's over Zoom or WhatsApp or whatever. But the Cameo group, it was a great source of encouragement to me, because people would have put up verses of encouragement, songs, and even wee funny things, that would have lifted you and lifted your spirits, But another thing that I found too was found that God was doing was just answering prayers. So what we had prayed for so many people in different situations, and the answers to prayers that we got, whether it was because of the situation that we were more focused and seeing that the prayers were answered, or and we were more able to pay attention to that, or what, I don't know. But I do believe that there was a lot of prayer answered. And another thing that come very much through to me during lockdown was that God is control. He's in control.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what comes up against us. He's in control, and he holds each one of us in his arms. So, yeah. So I suppose in many ways it was just a reminder that God's there no matter what. And as the thing, the footprints in the sand, that he carries you no matter what you're going through.
Yeah.
So
that, and it reaffirms that verse, come to me all who are weary and I will give you rest. And as you say, his shoulders are bigger, and his shoulders can deal with everything that each one of us is going through.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. And I think what you said there was really good about the Cameo group and your WhatsApp group, because maybe if anybody isn't part of a small group in church, or Cameo, or the Men's Fellowship, or any of those groups, I'm sure there are lots of people you could contact if you would like to be part of them and receive that encouragement from each other. You can contact Evelyn or myself, and we'll connect you in with some of those groups, or Harold or Alison, or please feel free to come and join in with those groups. You can receive their encouraging verses and praise and worship, and also have the banter together, as we say here. So thank you for sharing that, Evelyn. And thank you all for watching. Next week we'll be joined by another person from our congregation who'll be sharing a little bit more about what God has been doing with us and with them. So thank you very much, Evelyn, and we'll see you next week.